Hi folks, I'm Andy Skinner from Nevedon.com. I am the developer of the RAMP program and the creator of BobCharts. In this video I'm going to introduce you to BobCharts and take you through a few new features that we just released a few days ago. This video will last about 10 minutes and I hope you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed making it. Thank you. I'm looking at the main ramp control screen and I want to show you a few things about BobCharts. I've loaded the public internet data and I have the Dow 30 on the input list. I'll simply, just to get started, click on AIG. You'll notice that AIG was loaded in this little symbol window, and I'll click on BobChart immediately to the right of it. RAMP will generate a Bob chart for AIG, which is nothing more than a chart showing automatic support and resistance levels. In this case, I've asked the Bob charts to show me 4 resistance levels and 4 support levels. This is adjustable from 1 to 4 under the Advanced button, which I'll show you in just a moment. I want you to pay attention to the blue line and the red line. The lines are different colored for a reason. A traditional trend line in a Bob chart is always red, and that one in this case would be connecting the low point from here to here. Opposite every trend line is a parallel line drawn through the furthest point away. In this case, this is the furthest point away from the red line. A parallel line is drawn to the red line and its color is changed to blue. This becomes the opposite side of the trading channel. In Bob charts, we call this line the reaction line. So trend lines are red and reaction lines are blue, and they allow you to see trading channels very easily. I'll close this Bob chart window, go to Advanced, and I will change the number of lines to 1. Apply that setting, and now I'll go back to AIG again, click on Bob chart, and now you can see that there is only one resistance line being blue and one small support line right here being red. Note up at the top it said support is at 43.07 and resistance is at 51.77. Note that the decimal points go out 4 places. This is very important because Bob charts are used extensively in trading currency and futures, and you need 4-place decimal points, even though here we're just looking at stocks. I'm going to close this and go back to Advanced again. There's also a swing size setting. Swing size depicts the height of the highs and lows, or the overall swing size of the trade. 5 is a good place for swing trading or position trading. A day trader might want to find really minor trend lines, and he could go all the way down to 1. For our purposes, I'll set it at the default of 5, but I encourage you to try various values. I'm also going to set the number of lines back to 4 so that we can see the maximum number of support and resistance lines on each chart. I'll apply that setting, and I'm going to go ahead and click Bob Charts again. But notice this time there are no symbols in the symbol box. If I click Bob Charts with no specific symbol, it will generate the Bob chart for every symbol in the list on the left-hand side, which in this case is the Dow 30. So we'll receive, or it will generate Bob charts for every stock in the Dow 30. And that's finished. ExxonMobil happened to be the last one up, and it's an interesting chart. Note that there is an upward channel depicted by the red trend line, upward sloping, and then the reaction line parallel to it is a blue line, which is converging actually tomorrow with all of these resistance lines from former resistance areas. They all converge tomorrow, and I think if I owned ExxonMobil, I would probably sell it tomorrow morning. Now let's look at the new feature of Bob charts, which are the Bob chart scans. They are over here on the right hand side. And also note that I had to make the entire control panel wider to make room for the Bob chart scans. There's a large empty area underneath, which is for upcoming features that I'm working on right now. Let's look at this area right here, percent from support and percent from resistance. Now note this only applies to Bob charts. It has nothing to do with the other scanning capabilities of the RAM program. I still have the Dow 30 up. I'm going to ask it to find anything within 3% of resistance. I'm sure I'll find quite a few because the market's been trading up over the last week. And so let's just see what's up against support and resistance lines. And I want to see anything within 3% of a resistance line as maybe a potential short. So I put a 3 in this box. I go down to Bob Charts, and now I click the Bob Charts button, and a filter is turned on, and I'm only seeing the Bob Charts within 3% of resistance. And of course, you can see what I have here, some excellent shorting candidates. All of them up above a near resistance. I'll close that, and we'll try the same thing for support, and we'll just see what we get. I'll click on Bob Charts, and nothing there, and that's because the market's run up. There's nothing in the Dow 30 within 3% of a support line. Let's say that I want to go long and I would like to find some positive MACD divergences below the zero line. This is a really good leading indicator to tell you a stock is about to turn around and go back up. I'll set these back to 0 because I'm not really concerned about the support right now. I just like to see the divergences. I'll click on Bob Chart, and you can see we have a couple of good candidates. This is Pfizer. I will zoom in on it so that we can see this divergence very closely. And so I'll just drag a window over it. And here you can see the price has actually moved down. I'm back at a low point or gone horizontal. The MACD divergence is going up. So the momentum has turned. The price is still going down. There's a lot of support underneath it, and I think there's a long trading opportunity here. Maybe once it's dropped down and touch some of these lines in the next few days. Let's look at GM. And we have the same situation with GM. You notice GM has dropped off, started trading horizontally, and you can see here we've got some horizontal trading on GM, and the MACD has started back up. I can click on GM again, and it'll zoom back in. Nice divergence setup here on GM.